Going. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Media Arts Council's 14th annual PhotoEx Jury Photography Exhibit and Virtual Gallery opening. My name is Chris Dietrich, and I'm a PhotoEx committee member and former MAC board member, having originally been involved with MAC by creating this event. Back then, it was called Media Icons, and our goal was to encourage local photographers to focus their cameras on the wonderful character of media and the surrounding areas. Since then, we have opened up the scope of the theme to include anywhere on the planet, but many of our entries are still found in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. We'll first hear from other MAC representatives about the work we do here in the region, and then we'll move on to the award ceremony to learn more about our 5 winning images. You can view all 75 finalist images at mediaartscouncil.org/PhotoEx2020. And I'll share the highlighted image with you on this call with a shared screen so we can all see the winners one by one. Before we begin, before I introduce Mike, I'd like to acknowledge the rest of our PhotoEx committee members with us tonight. Some of us, however, could not be here, but in the room we also have Suzanne Comer, Eileen and John Newell, Bill Patterson, and Rick Pryor, as well as Mike and myself. We also have the president of the Media Arts Council, Stephanie Schur, and the executive director of MAC could not be with us here tonight, Liz McClure. There are a few of us who could not make it tonight due to illness and other circumstances. MAC board members in attendance today will have the word MAC in front of their usernames as well. At the end of the call, we will reveal the 2021 PhotoEx theme so you can get a head start on next year's submissions. Now I'd like to hand over the mic to our PhotoEx committee chair, Mike Berman. Mike has been involved from the start and is also an award-winning photographer himself and displays many of his works in the regional and national exhibits. Also a former MAC board member and treasurer, Mike is often found hanging many of the photography exhibits himself over these many years. Otherwise known as our own Obi-Wan of photography, please welcome Mike Berman.
Thanks, Chris. I just have to say that I forgot to bring my lightsaber with me, but just you can imagine it. Photography has been a mainstay of MAC since its inception in 2005. A substantial number of our member artists and our photographers, all 13 previous PhotoExes have been live gallery events with finished works adorning our gallery walls and real people admiring them. While we currently don't have the pleasure of warm bodies and wine and cheese, although you can do it yourself, this 14th edition, a virtual event, has its advantages. Twice as many entries from twice as many applicants have been received from Wisconsin, Colorado, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, and of course, Pennsylvania, and a lot from our own county right here, Delaware County. Rather than the 50 or so locals at a time that can view your works in our gallery, they are now accessible to thousands of viewers and potential purchasers 24/7 and worldwide, probably from near space as well. This year, we've had the sad duty to memorialize the passing of 2 supporters of MAC. Fran Shields, whose family sponsored 5 years of photo events, and then the more recently established juried painting exhibition. We're also remembering Patrick McMahon, a photographer who enjoyed attending our exhibits and whose daughter and MAC board member, Caitlin, asked mourners to direct memorial donations to the benefit of PhotoEx. This year's prize awards are all being drawn from that fund. Thank you, Caitlin. Now I'd like to introduce, I was going to introduce Liz McClure, our managing director, but she's not feeling well today. So we will go right on to Stephanie Schur, the board president.
Thank you, Mike. So this is really exciting for us. It's our first virtual opening, And as Mike said, it really, although it's not the same, it does offer the opportunity for folks near and far to see all of the fabulous work in the show. So we're excited about that. The Media Arts Council, as many or most of you know, is a 501c3 organization. We are grateful to all of our donors who support the organization and all of our wonderful events. And this year, we're especially grateful to the McMahon family and all of the generous people who donated on behalf of Caitlin's father. So thank you to everyone. You've really made this show and the prizes for the show even better than it always is. So I don't know if any of you, I know Caitlin was there today. Max sponsored the Pandemic Poetry Picnic today in Glen Providence Park. And it was very moving. It was poetry by high school students about the pandemic. And it really hit home for me because it emphasized how important Mac and Mac's mission is, bringing art to, supporting artists and bringing art to the community and to the public, because it was just amazing how these young people had really used art to help deal with the challenging times that we're living through. And of course, this PhotoEx exhibit theme this year, H2O, I think is also really meaningful because it brings a refreshment to our souls to look at all of the beautiful artwork and photographs in this exhibit. So it's wonderful what all of you have done and supporting MAC and bringing art to the public. If anyone is interested in learning more about any of the artworks, purchasing any of the artwork, please email us at info@mediaartscouncil.org. And also, this event happens to coincide with Delaware County Arts Week, Delco Arts Week. So if you want to know more about events taking place this week, more art events, MAC has more events, you can get on the website. It is delcoarts.org to find out about more events. So thank you all very much for being here. Back to you, Mike.
Thanks for that line. Each year we challenge photographers with a new theme for PhotoEx participants to interpret. This year's H2O brought a plethora of unique and interesting images in addition to real water scenes, oceans, rivers, lakes, trickles, and torrents. We have ice, hailstones, snow, fog, clouds, a ready-to-dunk tea bag, and some with no visible water at all. Our juror for this year, Carrie Barcombe, unfortunately had a death in the family and will not be appearing with us tonight, but I do have her comments about the show and about the individual pieces. So let me just read her introductory text. Water is a major ingredient in all living matter, a mutable element in nature's great cyclical design. As artists, we observe as clouds and rain, ice and snow, streams, lakes, and oceans. I had great difficulty choosing the award winners. Every image brings beauty and high professional quality. Reviewing the images for H2O made me mindful how water also represents changing human emotion and manifests across everyday life, offering a unique record of shared and individual human experiences, including humor and grief, creativity and kindness, tragedy and hope. In selecting photographs with a broad theme, I looked for imagery which connects us all and touches upon larger human and global themes, viewing water as an essential element for life, with imagery that links documenting the beauty and nature and its life-sustaining qualities. the winners this year, all chosen, well, there were 4 chosen by Carrie as for the first, second, third, and honorable mention prizes. And can you all hear me all right? Go ahead.
Yes, we can.
Okay. And then we added a 5th prize that wasn't in the entry documents, but and that's the Patrick McMahon Memorial Selection. Patrick was Caitlin's father, and she kindly asked the memorial donors to aim their donations at PhotoEx in Mac. So all of the prizes this year have been or will be paid from that fund. The first one I'm going to tell you about is the Patrick McMahon Memorial Selection. And there it is online on your book. It's called Garden Sprite, and it's by James Peters, who is online with us. The image was chosen by, I'm sorry, when I read scripts, I can't read and talk at the same time, but we'll try it. The image was chosen by Patrick's daughter, Caitlin, who says, "It made me laugh when I saw and read the title, and I think my dad would have enjoyed it too." Congratulations, Peter, for the for winning this award. I like that big. I like them all, but this one really set something up for me. And we'll contact you offline for arranging pickups and receiving your awards.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So there's a bit of a hang up here, is that we can't actually unmute your mics while I screen share my page. So I'm gonna, before you can talk, I'll have to take the image down so then the winners can accept their awards. James, if you'd like to say anything about your image or at all, you don't have to. There's no obligation to.
No, it was just it was a summer afternoon, and was watering the garden, and my son, who's now in his 20s, saw the sprinkler and ripped off all his clothes and ran into it. And just it was a moment of great joy for him and for me as his dad too. But thanks very much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Great work.
Let me just say that just coincidentally, he asked about whether the McMahon was a Dr. McMahon who practiced in the main line. And I was thinking, did he get some inside information about this? But apparently not. All right. The honorable mention, please, Chris. There we go. Mirror and Waves, Cape Henlopen State Park, Delaware, by Keith Sharp. And I don't think he's on with us tonight or today. This, Carrie said this is an interesting and conceptual piece. It is unexpected, clever, and unique. The mirror serves as a reflection, and its shape hints at the relationship between the rising moon and setting sun's effect on the ocean tide. This symbolizes the powerful connection of continual natural forces in our lives, which for me represents the continuation of nature and hope. Congratulations, Keith, wherever you are. And this is the honorable mention piece. This year's third prize goes to Eric Loken for the image entitled Fire and Ice. I know Eric's with us someplace. I don't see him at the moment, but and Carrie, the juror, writes, this dynamic composition captures the story of a lone iceberg set afloat in a vast ocean beneath a dramatic setting sun. There's also a subtle, ominous feeling from warm colors advancing from the horizon against the cool glacial ice. The warm reflections cast from the water against the icy smooth surface indicates melting. I feel this image serves a reminder of our changing climate and is a meaningful representation documenting the changes of our natural world, expressing the impacts of humans on the cyclical process of nature, making the photograph valuable and historic. And congratulations, Eric, for third prize and Fire and Ice.
Thank you. That photo was taken in Greenland, Disco Bay. We would go out about 9 o'clock at night and sail until about 4 in the morning. And that photo was taken about 3 o'clock in the morning in early August last year. So it was quite an adventure.
There was some contention here as to whether it was a sunset, a sunrise, or just sun below the horizon all day.
Yes, with the sun below the horizon, the sun set around, at that time of year, set around 10:30 and came up again around 3. And then it was just below the horizon for several hours.
It's a great image, really.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And we will see you around. Second place. There she is. Amelia Keynes, Catskills. Carrie writes, this image creates an evocative narrative hinting of something that goes beyond the pictorial scene to something raw and elemental. This calm lake with mist rising on is both bold and graphic, yet nuanced, sensitive, and delicate. With what appears as deep indigo washes and rough organic edges, it captures a technique and texture that is mysterious and poetic. It evokes another world, which is ethereal and serene, a quiet, contemplative respite, and providing a beautiful reminder of the ephemeral and healing qualities of nature and water. Congratulations, Amelia.
Thanks. Yeah, the location for that photograph is the Catskills. We went on a pretty amazing family vacation, and I woke up and my fiance kept me company a couple of early mornings. So it took a couple of tries. Some mornings it was too misty and you couldn't make out the mountains. And then finally I got it right. And I thought it really lent itself to the cyanotype process. It's sort of painterly. So, yeah.
For those not in the know, can you explain cyanotype?
Sure. It's an antique, one of the first photo processes. So it involves painting emulsion onto watercolor paper, whatever your receiver material is. And I make my own digital negatives on a transparency paper and then sandwich that right on top of the emulsion and under glass, and then expose that in sunlight.
And it's what old blueprints used to be, how blueprints used to be made.
Right.
All right, the next one. Lastly, our blue ribbon first prize goes to Bruce Lewis for the image entitled The Pond. I think Bruce is on board here someplace. Carrie writes, good, be with you in a minute, we'll open you up. Carrie writes, this abstract image creates an overall rhythmic and fluid design from a complex pattern of color and movement in a richly woven tapestry. The beautiful reflections from seasonal autumnal branches and leaves on the water helps make the surface come alive, providing a backdrop of rippling linear movement that is dynamic and expressive. The reflective luminescent patterns capture the vibrancy and living essence of water itself. And an observation I believe is so important for us to recognize today. And that is our 2020 photo finalists. Congratulations, all of you.
Bruce, is Bruce here? Can you like to
Bruce,
say something?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. This photograph was actually taken several years ago over at Drexel Lodge Park, and they have a large pond there. It's right off in Newtown Square. It's all these photographs that I have presented are actually 3, 4, 5, 6 images all sandwiched together, and that's how you get that rhythm pattern that goes on through the picture. And then, of course, I do a lot of manipulations with the colors. I never like real colors, so they always got to be coming out of my mind. And that's how I make them.
Mike, you're on mute still.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mike.
And I know we've seen you before. You did some similar ones last year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, we used one for one of our Facebook notifications in this show.
Thank you. And thank you for the award.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Chris?
Yes, thank you, Mike. These are incredible shots. We are so impressed by the amount of work and effort and submissions that we got this year. So yes, thank you all for the entrants that submitted their photography, whether you are a professional or amateur shutterbug. We are so thrilled by the quantity and quality here. Each year seems to get better and better. We hope everyone spends some time at our virtual gallery at mediaartscouncil.org/PhotoEx2020 to view all the 75 wonderful images. And now, before we leave this call, the PhotoEx committee would like to announce next year's 2021 theme, drumroll please, which is balance. As always, our themes are fairly open-ended to interpretation, so we look forward to your endless creativity and inspiration. Stay safe, everyone. Thanks for joining the call. This concludes the formal portion of our virtual gallery opening, but we'll keep this room open, and maybe if Marie can unmute everybody at this time, we certainly, people are welcome to hang out and stick around, maybe ask questions one at a time. But we are done with the call and really thrilled that we were able to do this. Sadly, we can't all gather in the gallery and share a cup of wine and some snacks and look at these pieces on the wall, but we're doing the best we can during pandemic, and we'll go from there. Hopefully we'll have more opportunities in the future.